and you are tuning into Rise and Reset. First one to get on wins a $5 Amazon e-gift card. So come on, say hello, get into the room. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and sync up my. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to go ahead and. I'm cooking with grease. Who is the first one on? Say hello so that you can be our early bird winner. All right, all right. So the first person to say hello to me is Chantel. Congratulations, Chantel. Chantel Alicia, you win a $5 Amazon e-gift card. So I am going to write you down. Let's see who's out there watching. Good morning, Amanda. You're up early. Good morning, Michael, Judith, Ferrero, Serena. Good morning, Serena. Tawanda, good morning. Good morning, Stacy Ellis. So listen, the sun has the day off. I'm coming to you bright and early with my sunshine, okay? I told the sun to just, chill out. I got the shift for today. All right. So that's why I'm here with my bright yellow, bringing you guys sunshine. Today, we're talking about something that I think many of us have had to deal with at some point in our lives, anxiety. So we're going to talk to you about how you beat up your anxiety. So come on into the room. And while we're allowing more people to come on in, go ahead, share, tag, get this out to as many people as possible. All right, because, anxiety is something that everyone at some point has dealt with. So this message is for everyone. All right. So I see some more people have joined us. Good morning, Debbie Mancuso. Good morning, Kim Spencer. Good morning, Reba Colbell. Hello, everyone. Okay. So go ahead, share this content out. I'll introduce myself. For those of you who are just watching or watching on the replay, I am Prunella Harris. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I own Restorative Family Services, which is a mental health practice in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. And so what we do with Rise and Reset every Tuesday at 7:30 a.m., we get up and we share mental health awareness, education, and inspiration. So it gets your week started off on the right track. So thank you all for getting on week after week, sharing this out. I do appreciate you all out there. So let's go ahead and get to today's material, because I know you guys got to get to work, got to do your thing. So I'm going to get right on into it. All right. So the first thing, before I get into it, I want to lay the foundation for anxiety so we can understand it a little more. It is a healthy human emotion. So anxiety has helped us evolve over the years. Back where we were hunters and gatherers, anxiety would alert us to big, dangerous animals, and that would activate our fight or flight response, whether we fight that big dangerous animal or we flee or we freeze. So it really helps us to deal with the external danger. As we have become more cerebral and intelligent beings, the anxiety that we create are less about external danger and more about internal danger. So the same system works in place. Like our bodies have think of it like an alarm system, and there's a dispatch saying, hey, your eyes will see something. And the dispatch sends a message up to your brain and say, hey, you know what, that's dangerous. We need to activate the legs because we need to run and get the hell out of here. Or we need to just freeze because if we move or do any sudden movement, we're in danger. Or we need to fight. We need to get out of here. But sometimes that system gets a little wacky. Sometimes it's glitchy. And when it's glitchy, that means our anxiety has taken over more of our daily lives. And that's when anxiety becomes a bully. We're going to talk about how to beat up that bully. So for prevalence, I want to give you some real statistics. So 19% of the population, that's about 20%, 20% of the population deals with anxiety. So if you think about it, if you have 10 employees, two of those employees are going to suffer from anxiety. If you have 5 people in your family, one of those people are going to suffer from anxiety. Uh, Females are more likely to suffer from anxiety than males, 23.4%, where males are 14.3 percent. So I just want to let you guys know, some of those statistics if you're into numbers like I am. So, what are the symptoms of anxiety? You guys probably already know this. Can you guys type in one symptom that you think is a symptom of anxiety? Because I know you guys know a lot. I have a very, very in tuned community here. My Rise tribe is on top of things. So, go ahead and type in to the comment section one symptom of anxiety. I think you guys know way more than I do on this topic. So Stacy Ellis, thank you. Stacy says crying. Michael says shortness of breath, fast heartbeat. Yep. Stacy Ellis says moodiness. I told you guys were awesome. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into some of those. Thamar says talking fast. Yes, because if your brain is moving fast, right, your thoughts are moving a mile a minute. So is your speech. Not sleeping. Yep. All good stuff. So keep those comments coming. I'm gonna go in and then I'm gonna circle back because there may have been some that I did not include. So here are some symptoms of anxiety, right? You have racing thoughts where your thoughts seem to, be like a movie screen where it's like one scene to the next scene and they're just like jumping from topic to topic or item to item or thought to thought. Makes it hard to concentrate when you have racing thoughts. Agitation and irritability. Some people get really short, get really irritable when they're anxious. Sweaty palms is another one that's common. Your paranomic system kicks in. You start sweating. I know when I get anxious, I always sweat under my armpit. So I was like, ugh. So every time I have a speaking engagement, I always wear sleeveless. So you figure out how to deal with it. Muscle tension. Some people get tightness in their jaw. Some people get tightness in the back of their neck. Some people tighten up their fist. So muscle tension is another one. Social withdrawal. Some people isolate. Or they have to figure out how to deal with themselves. I'm one of those people who socially withdraws when they're anxious. Because believe it or not, you guys, I'm an introvert. I know I get out here and I talk to you guys, but when I am stressed out, I typically go in like a turtle. Lack of focus, trouble concentrating, or just being flighty, seemingly not flighty. I'm guilty of that one too. This is the flightiness is like putting your car keys in the fridge or leaving your keys in the door. Just, flightiness, like you're so stressed out, you're just forgetful and you do weird things like that, like me. Another one is constant movement. So the clinical term is psychomotor agitation, but that just means fidgeting, moving around, just feeling like you're in a motor. You can't sit down. You're up, you're down, you're pacing back and forth. So that's constant movement. So what did you guys add to the list? I see Mike said racing thoughts. Tawanda says panicking. Yep. Thamar says snappy. Sandy is tagging. Okay. Thanks, Sandy, for sharing this out. Tawanda says nervousness. Yeah. So those are some symptoms. If we forgot some, go ahead and put some of those symptoms right on in the chat and I'll come back to them. But yeah, so anxiety doesn't feel real good. I mean, anybody would want to avoid that. And that is why anxiety grows, right? Because anxiety is a bully. The more you avoid these uncomfortable symptoms that I talk about, these uncomfortable things, your anxiety grows and gets bigger. And so you may have had something that caused you anxiety. Like, let's say you got into a car accident and now you're avoiding getting back behind that wheel because you're afraid to get into another car accident. Or every time you get into the car or behind that wheel, you start sweating, you start, replaying the accident. You start thinking about all the terrible things that can happen. You go into that what if thinking, what if this happens? What if, and I'm going to give you a key. That what if is a key, that those are worry thoughts. They usually are hypothetical thoughts that are not likely to happen. And it usually starts with a what if. Those are your worry thoughts, right? So this is what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about how to separate the anxiety from you, because sometimes it's just all in our head. We know that it's uncomfortable and we avoid it at all costs. But that mere avoidance grows it, because now it's this fear of unknown. And now that fear has gotten even bigger. And now, instead of getting behind the wheel of the car, now you don't leave the house. Now it's taking more and more of your life. So we want to get that bully and beat that bully up and make that bully smaller, and understand that we have a lot more power over our anxiety, over our thoughts, than we knew before. So anxiety is to manage your anxiety, CBT, which stands for cognitive behavioral therapy, is very effective. And what cognitive behavioral therapy is a type of counseling that focuses on changing your thoughts, which change your behavior, and that's how you get through it. So with anxiety is the one disorder that can be effectively managed without medication. Because you can change your internal climate just by changing your thoughts. Your thoughts are powerful. Your mind is powerful. And you can take back your power by understanding what anxiety is and how to beat it up. So let's talk about 8 ways, give you some very practical tips on 8 ways to beat up your anxiety bully. All right, so we're going to do the bully beat down. I don't know if you guys remember that show, but there's a show called Bully Beat Down. Look, we're going to beat up anxiety just like that. All right, so when you leave this broadcast, I want you to be experts in managing your anxiety. Very first thing I want you to do, number 1, is deep breathing. And the reason I want you to do deep breathing is because when our worry thoughts kick in, our heart starts to beat faster, which means that we start to breathe faster. And now we are on our way up to the peak of anxiety or an anxiety attack, and we're not going to be thinking rational. So we want to go ahead and start off with just stopping and thinking. So stopping and thinking, well, when you stop and breathe, you're manually shifting the anxiety response off. So remember, I talked about that alarm system with the dispatch. So let's take that scenario. So something happened, something triggered your anxiety, and the dispatch says, hey, there's something's going on. When you deep breathe, it's like, wait a minute, let's observe first. Let's see what's going on, rather than getting right into the reaction mode, which sends all kinds of signals everywhere, and that adrenaline starts pumping, and then you're no longer thinking, you're just reacting. You're reacting in survival mode, okay? So I want you to take, the first thing I want you to do is take some deep breaths. And there's lots of ways to deep breath, but let's do something easy. In 1, 2, into your nostrils, out 1, 2, through your mouth, and just breathe. And so what that's going to allow you is time and space to think about the next set of coping strategies you're going to utilize once you realize that you have been triggered. Once you realize that your anxiety is starting to manifest. All right. So number 2, now that we're deep breathing, it gives us that space and time. Number 2 is know what your triggers are. You are going to do yourself so much good by just being self-aware, knowing what your high-risk situations are for anxiety. So what are the things, what happens right before you get anxious? What are the things that cause that anxiety, right? For me, it's being late. I know I don't like being late. So I try to get there 30 minutes. And if I have to be late, then I know I'm going to be activating my anxiety response. I know I'm going to be doing deep breathing. Okay. Um, Being yelled at, if your triggers are being yelled at, if you're meeting someone new for the first time, meeting new people, sometimes, that performance anxiety. Oh, are they going to think that I am weird? Are they going to judge me harshly? That anxiety of doing something to embarrass yourself could be um, the thing that triggers your anxiety. Or is it taking on a new task? Again, with the performance, it's like, okay, well, I may not be very good at this new task. What if I fail? What if you hear that? What if again, that we talked about? Public speaking, for a lot of people, public speaking is anxiety provoking. What if I mess up? What if I do something wrong? What if I get laughed at? What if they don't like my presentation? That what if that scares us and creates an internal crisis. No longer external. Remember, before we were evolved, it was the external, but now the crisis is happening on the inside with our thoughts. So really getting a handle on what your high risk situations are, what your triggers are to your anxiety: financial problems, health problems, relationship problems, you name it. You get down and dig deep, be self-aware, and know what your high risk situations are. Okay. Number 3 is now we need to look at those. We need to examine them. We need to look at those scary thoughts. We need to look at what is driving our anxiety, because it's usually some type of irrational thought that isn't likely to happen. So spend some time just getting to know you. Spend some time getting to know your thoughts, what triggers you, and then what the thoughts are. So if you're triggered by public speaking, I want you to dig down and what is it about public speaking? What are the worry thoughts? What is your worry about public speaking? Is it that you might perform badly? Or is it financial problems, that you might somehow go bankrupt, lose your house? If it's health problem, that you might somehow die, there's pending doom. So really look at that. So spend some time journaling your worry thoughts. Get a notebook, write them down, and write down what the trigger is, and then what that worry thought is. All right. So it's usually some type of thought that is fear-based, that is an unlikely event. It's an irrational thought. I want you to examine them and challenge them. Challenge them. Is this likely to happen? Is this, what are the odds? Has this ever happened to me before? Is this fear based in reality? Did I experience this, or is this just something I don't want to experience, but I feel like it's so real? So really looking at that. All right. So if you guys are still with me, I know I'm talking a lot. Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me. Let me know, tribe. Where's my Rise tribe? Let me know if you are picking up what I'm putting down here. So I see some stuff in the chat. Let's see. Sandy, all right. Sandy says, Lizzie, you made it. Okay. Stacy says late in traffic are some of her triggers. Okay. Yeah, you guys give me your triggers. That's okay. Yeah, I would love to know what triggers. Thank you guys for your thumbs up. I would love to know what triggers your anxiety. That way we can talk. Ali D, hello. Thanks for the thumbs up. Sandy, thank you. All right. Tawanda, thanks for the thumbs up. Mike's, thank you. I got some pounds. Lizzie, thank you, Lizzie. All right, let me know what your triggers are. I'm going to go on to number 4, but I do want to know what your triggers are. All right. So number 4 is encourage yourself through the discomfort. So like I said, anxiety is a bully and grows the more you avoid it. So in order to get over your anxiety, you have to confront it. You have to do that the same way you would confront a schoolyard bully by standing up for yourself. You're going to have to confront your thoughts. You're going to have to confront that worry. You're going to have to confront that fear, and get comfortable with confronting that fear. And eventually you'll get so comfortable, it will not be uncomfortable anymore. So anxiety is one of those things, the more you practice it, the more confident you get at it, and the smaller that bully gets. So it might start out with a big, bully, but it shrinks every time you take your power back. Every time you confront that fear, your anxiety will shrink. So think of like a surf, like think about like this big surf, right? We have options. When that surf is coming and you're out there in the water, you can, get on your surfboard and you can surf the wave, or you can just sit there and be afraid. And that surf is going to swallow you. So what I encourage you is to get up on that and just surf that wave. Get on your surfboard and just ride it out. It's uncomfortable. You're going to be talking to yourself like, you know what? If you're having a panic attack, guess what? You can't die from a panic attack. So you're going to just hold on tight. This will pass. You're just going to go through it. I know this is going to make me anxious, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it scared. And the more you surf that wave, the smaller the wave gets, and you're like, or the better you get at surfing. But what I want you to do is definitely not avoid it, but do it more. All right, let's see what we got going on in the chat. Okay, so I see we have, I see that. Okay, so we're talking about anxiety triggers. Thank you guys. Thamar says people being late, time wasters. Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm with you, Thamar. Time wasters, people being late is, well, I don't, I guess for you is other people being late and you waiting. I'm assuming, but I know I hate being late, and I know I hate people wasting my time as well. So I'm there with you. Sandy says running late, not sleeping well, and having too much to do at the same time. Oh yeah, that overwhelm. Yep, been there. So Louise, Angel, Sadina, hello. Thanks for joining us. Is deductive reasoning in any way connected to anxiety? So anxiety, individuals who have anxiety tend to be in their heads a lot and overthink, and tend to attach causality to certain things. And, oh, well, this must be this, and it must, so that overthinking is an anxiety response. Michael Harris says people not respecting time. Yep. I get it. Yes. All right. So number 5, and if you guys have more triggers, go ahead and put that in. I'll circle back. Number 5 is practice being present. See, our anxiety is usually triggered either by what's happening in the future or what happened to us in the past, right? So it's never happening right now and in the right now. So in order to manage our anxiety, we have to realize when our minds are either ahead of us or behind us. So if we're thinking of things that have happened in the past, we can't change those things, or happen in the future, those things haven't happened. So we have to remind ourselves to be completely present. And this is where a technique called mindfulness comes in, where you can ground yourself. And so we do like a 5 senses, way of grounding yourself in the moment. So some things that I've used with my clients is 5 senses. You have sound, you have hearing, taste, touch, smell, and I forgot one. Sight, I think. Yeah, sight. So you can go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 things that you see in the room that you're in. 4 things that you can hear. 3 things that you can smell. 2 things that you can taste. 1 thing that you can touch. So, you can do it in any fashion or form. It doesn't have to go that way, but it's really grounding you. And so what that does is it distracts your thoughts, right? And so now by you exercising all of your senses to come into that moment that you're in, you're distracted and you're not thinking about the laundry that you have to do later, or that report that you have to do, or what that person said to you last week, or how they hurt your feelings, or whatever. but you're actually present in that moment. So spend some time being mindful and present. Okay. Melissa Turner says it works. Yes. This is one of my favorite strategies. All right. Let's get to number 6. All right. Number 6 is set up a time to worry. Anxiety, like I said, that bully can be huge and it can take over more and more of your life. And so rather than having your mind wrapped up in your anxious thoughts throughout the entire day, say, okay, I'm going to deal with that later. I'm going and set up a time to worry, just a time that you can let all of your worries go. So usually we say, put it in a box and then worry during that worry time. And once that worry time is done, whatever time you set, it could be, when you get home. So you got to get through the day and keep yourself busy, keep your mind active, stay focused, stay present. But when you get home, you can think about those things. And the more you're able to actually distract yourself for longer periods of time. So if your worry time is, say, 8 o'clock at night, which, I don't know, you might not be able to sleep if you put it that late, but let's say your worry time is 6 o'clock. From 6 to 6:30, that's the time I'm supposed to worry. Well, you've gotten through a whole shift at work, and now you're able to say, okay, let's worry. So if you're able to have that much mental control over that worry, then you can actually do a really good job with managing your worry on your own. So the more and more you get mentally tough to just say, okay, my worry time, I'm being strict about this, the better control you have. And eventually you won't need to have that worry time. Eventually, as things come up, you'll just be able to manage that in vivo. Okay. So that's a really effective technique. All right. We're beating up the anxiety bully. That's what we're doing. We're making that bully smaller and smaller so that we take our power back. Number 7 is eliminate caffeine. If you already have an anxious disposition, stimulants, caffeines are only going to make it worse. So these things rev you up and you're feeling like agitated, and that crash sometimes can be annoying. So, you want to limit any of the monster drinks, any of the caffeine, anything like that. If you're noticing that your anxiety increases. So give yourself a chance and try to limit how much caffeine you take, because that is a side effect of having too much caffeine. All right, let's see. We're moving right along. Here we go. Last one. I can't get it up. All right. Last one is sleep is so important. Practice good sleep hygiene. And what do I mean by that? When your mind is very active, even when your body is at rest, your mind is still going. So you want to do things that will wind yourself down, wind your mind down, so that you can get better quality sleep. And so turning down the lights at a certain time is going to help you with the good sleep hygiene. Playing soothing music. Other things you could do is, maybe a bubble bath or a hot shower right before you go to sleep. So just practicing things, making sure that you're not eating heavy meals right before you go to sleep so you don't have discomfort, but really making sure that you get at least 8 hours of sleep. Because what happens when we lack sleep, and anybody with infants, any new parents out there know, is you are less able to function at 100%. And it doesn't matter. Any mental illness that anyone has always gets worse with lack of sleep. Always gets worse. Sleep is, your brain needs to rest. It needs to rest and it needs to rejuvenate. So sleep helps it do that. So you definitely want to make sure that you can turn your brain off, and doing some exercises or good practicing good sleep hygiene before bedtime is going to help you do that. So turn that anxious brain off by being intentional about your sleep. All right. And so those are the 8 ways we are going to beat up anxiety. I'm going to go over them for anyone who joined in midway. Is number 1 was deep breathing. Giving yourself some space and time to think about what you're going to do next, so that you're, instead of reacting, you can respond to your anxiety and not just go into that anxiety loop. Number two is know what your triggers are. Know what your high risk situations are before you get into that moment, so that you're able to better choose what strategy you need at the time. Examine your worry thoughts. Understand those thoughts that are not healthy for you. Understanding the fear behind it, so that you can be better equipped to challenge them. Encourage yourself through the discomfort. So ride the wave, surf that wave. Anxiety can kind of seem like a big tidal wave, and you're going to have to confront it and encourage yourself to get through that by being kind and compassionate and just saying, hey, you know what? This will pass. It's just anxiety. It's normal to be anxious about this. And the more and more you get through that discomfort, the better you are at managing and beating up your anxiety. Number five is practice being present, utilizing mindfulness techniques, being present in the moment. Number six is set up a worry time. Don't allow the anxiety to take over your entire day, but say, okay, I am going to worry about that at this time. I'm going to deal with it later whenever, I get home. Eliminate caffeine, making sure that you reduce your caffeine intake, and then practicing good sleep hygiene is number 8. Okay. So that, my friends, is how we're going to beat up our anxiety. All right. So I have a few announcements to make. Now, if you are in PA, Restorative Family Services is accepting new clients. You can go ahead to our website at www.restorativefamilyservices.com and request a call. Our administrative team will contact you at that time and answer any questions and get you set up for an appointment. We do have currently a teen pandemic support group that is virtual, and that will be starting May 25th. So go ahead and register for that. We accept most insurances. So definitely request a call to talk about that teen group. I'm excited about the new project that we have coming out, the podcast. We have a Rise Station podcast. Thank you all who voted for our cover photo. We chose option 1 if you didn't get that email. So thank you all for that. Next Tuesday, join me, Rise and Reset. I'll be covering postpartum depression, maternal depression, in honor of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. We're talking about topics that are relevant to individuals understanding mental health. So last week we did depression, so you can catch that episode. You can always go to our website, our Facebook page, and catch the previous episodes. Last week we did depression. This week is anxiety. Next week is postpartum depression. So go ahead and catch up if you need to. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It is time to get your knuckles cracked, get your thumbs moving. All right, and let's see here. I see some comments. Let's see. Sandy says she loves coffee. Michael says, no, I don't want to give up caffeine. Yeah, me either. I have a cup of coffee. But yeah, gotta manage and not have so much caffeine. Crystal Walterton, hello. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful day and good morning. Thank you. Sandy, thanks for sharing it out. Okay, riddle time. Here we go. What has many rings but no fingers? What has many rings but no fingers? First one to get this wins a $5 Amazon e-gift card right to your inbox. Many rings but no fingers. This one should be easy. Many rings but no finger. What has many rings but no finger? You guys are coming up with some really good ones. I see doorbell, keys, Saturn. Not quite. Oh, wait a minute. Lizzie got it. Congratulations, Lizzie. You're the first one to get it. Telephone is the answer. I saw Stacy was a close second, but Lizzie got it. Telephone. Congratulations, Lizzie. Um, Congratulations, Chantel, for being the first person on. You guys check your inbox immediately after this broadcast. Thank you all for your support. Thanks for tuning in. You guys enjoy your day on purpose.